there is one name that has set the standard of how we are supposed to represent ourselves as hunters. One name synonymous with charting a new narrative. One name who is the epitome of who we are supposed to be as hunters. One name that explains the why to what makes us do what we do. That name is Jim Shockey.
I was born a hunter. My earliest memory, I was 2 years old, 3 years old. I mean, it's so far back in ancient history, but my father and my uncles were tearing down a granary, and I remember they left me alone to my own devices, and I was turning over old bricks, and the hollow part inside the brick. On the bottom side, there were beetle bugs and earthworms, and I remember being fascinated by it, and knowing right then. I mean, I was too young to talk probably, and I knew that I was a hunter. A lot of people think it was my father, but it was kind of my mother in a lot of ways that allowed me to follow this pathway that turned me into what I am today. So my mom, long-suffering mother, was the one that would have to take me to the river to go fishing and sit there twiddling her thumbs while, I would spend dawn till dark, 14-hour days, 16-hour days. It didn't matter to me. I would sit there all day long. Yeah, my father, of course, was the male figure in our home, and he hunted. But they hunted, my uncles and my father hunted for meat. It wasn't that sort of deep spiritual connection that I think I feel, I know I feel. They didn't really have that with the animals. It was a hamburger running across a field, and if you could shoot that hamburger and bring it home, that was great. And if you could do it opening morning, in the first 2 hours of the season, and be done and get back to work that afternoon, then that was a successful hunt. Hunting they're not hamburgers running across a field, not to me. And I know it's important. The meat is important, and I know that my dad was an honorable man as existed, but him and I were just different sides of the fence when it came to what the animals were. To him, it was something to be used, and that's all it was. Literally, it was a hamburger, and antlers didn't matter. Longer hunt, why would you do that? The experience didn't matter, other than you're with your buddies or your fathers, or my father was with his uncles. It was purely about supplying meat for the family, and that's fine. That's what hunting was probably about, in parts of history. I don't believe it was always about that. I think that there's times when you have enough to eat that the animals, we have the luxury of putting them on a little bit of a pedestal, and I think engaging the spiritual side of the relationship between the animals and the humans, and how the hunting brings us together, and how conservation is a part of hunting, and camaraderie, yes, family, yes, of course it is. There's so many symbolic parts of hunting. I very quickly realized that I wanted my hunt to last, and I wanted it to last till the last minute of the season would be the perfect hunt. The entire, from opening day to last minute of legal light and getting your deer that's the perfect hunt. Because I wasn't hunting for hamburgers, I was hunting for an experience. I was hunting for a spiritual awakening, a touching of something greater than what we are, meaning to life. I mean, this is what we did as human beings for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years if you're a scientist. I mean, it was a search for me, and it's just truly never ended. My name is Jim Shockey, and I'm a hunter by every definition. I'm also a proud big baba of 2 grandchildren, husband of Louise for 33 years, and father to Eva and Brandlin, our 2 children. And if I leave a legacy on this earth, I hope that I made a positive difference on people's perspective about hunters and hunting. Everyone has their own story. This is mine. It's in the blood.